Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. And we're going to debut a brand new
Intro?
Yes.
Really?
New to us too. Wow.
Bring me everyone. What do you mean, everyone?
Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemachamp or Lucky Track Dog league you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate as long as you drive it hard and build it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing. Whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and I give you just the tip, we are sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy. Oh, I'm Chrissy. I'm so enthralled.
And I'm mental.
And we're Everyone Racers. Thank you for joining us for a fairly unreliable British car episode of our podcast. It is episode 322. The Land Rover Range Rover, also known as the code L322, is the third generation Range Rover model from the British car maker Land Rover and was originally developed under the codename L30. The L322 was introduced in 2001 and ran until 2012. The design had a monocoque. Monocoque. I know. What construction with a four-wheel independent air suspension. Pretty much, if you own a Land Rover, I'm sorry, as much as they look nice. Anyway, just get out your bingo card and see what you get. Slow news day. Slow number day. But that's okay.
That was tough. That was a tough one to find.
Nobody else found anything, and I just happened to continue to Google and found this. So I apologize, but now you know.
Well, no, and this is nice though, because otherwise we're just deep into BMW hell, all through the threes. Yeah.
We also have a problem because we live near a 322. So everything on Google is saying, do you want to buy a car on 322? And we said, no, I really don't. So
I have had that happen. Like every freeway named after, or there are a series of numbers has a car dealership called Highway Whatever Motors. And that always shows up when I'm Googling this stuff.
That's the game we played today.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we know 327's coming, but if you've got a good 3 number that is not a BMW, send it to us.
Sure. What you working on? Mental, we know we're working on, so you go.
I spent the weekend in the desert filming, doing all the primary shots for the upcoming, soon-to-be award-winning art film, Desolation Road. So we were out before sun in the desert every day past the Nelson Ghost Town, and then we would be there until sunset. To get all the golden hour stuff. It was a ton of fun. I learned so much. We've all interacted with local guy here, John Polnick, host of Bid Nerds, but I actually got to see him be a director. It was really cool. And we had some local talent in there and made a couple of new friends. One of our sound guy just did a big thing for the National Geographic Channel on the MSG sphere, and he's worked on a bunch of films. So it was just around the horn, a really, really very exhausting, but great time making something cool. And I even posted a picture of one of our guest stars, which was a tarantula, which are native to this area. And we did actually manage to work this tarantula into the film as he was crossing the road, and a car came by and we're all like waving, don't run over the spider, don't run over them. Person's looking at us like we're crazy, but we saved the tarantula.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah. After we scooped him up and had him acting a little bit, and about the third time I'm trying to get him with a shovel, he is making his annoyance quite clear, because I would post the shovel near him and he would poke at it with his front 2 legs.
Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah. So we that's what I was doing. I was playing Hollywood. Actually, I was playing Best Boy. So I was everything from motorcycle wrangler to car positioner to holding the little,
did you get to hold the little snappy thing?
Repeatedly, and would have to write it on there, scene A2, take 1, click.
Wow. So
got to stab my friend Rami, and then had to, and also built a, in fact, here is, as I bring it all up, and I do a terrible job of visually, this is us on set. We built this camera rig for our chief cinematographer, Lee Pettit, out of a trailer hitch and a work stool. There's on the
Kinda
far
fun.
left of this picture is Rami Mirza carrying the shovel. He's playing the main character. Lee, who is an established, brilliant Getty photographer, Lee Patet, Captain Patet Images on Instagram. I'm operating it. And then there's John Polnick in the back doing director stuff. And we were testing to see if this worked. And as it kind of turned out, it sort of did. So
Yeah, that's one of those trailer hitch dollies. So it's a 2 wheels with a 45-degree out handle that it would normally have a trailer hitch ball in the top that you'd put in to move trailers around the yard, but you stuck a stool on the top. And so
I
you're the one
bolted a
holding the
stool.
handle.
Yes.
Yes.
And then actually in using another office chair, put in the leg brace. So he would have actually, rather than sitting on a stool unbalanced, he had someplace to put his legs and we could get it smoother shots with that one.
Fantastic. That's super fun. Something different.
But you guys, and this is going to be all over listener feedback, you guys had one massive production weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. We
Go ahead.
did quite a bit of the caging of the new Civic this past weekend. So leading up to that, though, we had to do the prep a bit. So like gutting the doors, for example, because they still had door panels and windows and all those things in it. So we did all that. I was told Chrissy, well, I need to start prepping for the base plate area. And Chrissy said, no, we'll do that this weekend. And Chrissy,
Don't worry about that. It was awful. It was awful. I don't know if it was any more awful than some other cars, just an awful job. So I was prepping for base plates, taking all the seam sealer out of the corners. And so we had all of the different attachments to the grinders. But then some of them would get gummed up, and then how do you get them into the absolute corners? Because obviously everything has to be super clean. And so we're not at the bending yet, but okay.
Oh, sorry.
So that's actually the next day, I think. But anyway, trying to clean all of the corners, got the Dremel out, got all the chisels out. Like it was just an operation. So
propane torch for a while, even.
I was just
wow. So you're straight up burning it. That is
well, because it was
heating it to melt it off, to let it scrape off.
To try to it was deep.
That's 30 years old now. It's been on there for a long time.
Well, and granted, I'm dealing with slightly warmer temperatures. I've had good luck with like first thing out there in the morning, going after it with a really like the braided wire wheels, because then it comes off in chunks when it's cold. And as soon as it gets warm, it starts gumming everything up.
I had both of those, so that's fine. I had some when it was cold, I had when it was warm. The problem is the wire wheels, even and the cups, nothing gets in a true corner. So I had a true corner that was full. Like it was basically like a triangle of seam sealer. So it was just so much, and it has to be clean. So I did everything I possibly could to clean it. And I did. It was fine. It just took a lot longer than I planned. So that's what I did most of the day on Saturday, and then helped clean and bend on Sunday. Notch. Yep.
There you go.
Yep. I was working a lot of pipe this weekend, mostly with Bill. So that was fun. No, we're using they have a lovely electric powered hydraulic bender that is just so easy. It's just remarkable. So we just used that. It was really nice to be able to do that. And so I did a lot of the design and bending, and then Chrissy and then Vicky did a lot of the notching and prepping and stuff. And then once I started doing a lot more welding, then other people started to take over with the bending and the notching and all the design and stuff like that. But I had to say, this cage came out beautifully. The main hoop, on quite a lot of the hoop, you can't even fit your pinky finger between the hoop and the car in any place. The forward bars fit really nicely with the angle of the car. The header bar, even like if we actually did a bent header bar out, that worked out great. Like the door bars look good. Like everything really looks great. So we got all the bars bent, all the bending bars bent, and all except one are welded in. I do have some other welds to do. They're going to make it see, that's when we were just test fitting the main hoop itself, the original part of the hoop. Once we got the whole thing in, which we sent in Slack, for example, we sent you that. The whole thing it is perfectly tight in that whole car, touching all the way around. It's really great. I'm pretty excited, but I still have lots of crappy welding to do. Like I've just tacked most of the base plates in place. I've got to do like around the back side of some of the bars because I just didn't have time to do that difficult stuff. So now the car is back in the garage here, so I can finish that up and try to get cage and fire system done and interior painted and stuff this winter. Well, really, I'm hoping to have that done by early January. So then switch the MG to the front burner. So
just in time to put it on the auction block for the spring.
That's the plan.
There we go. Smart, man.
May is a wonderful time to buy a little British car. So,
especially if you live out in the desert. So if you're listening out here on the West Coast, this MG comes with provenance.
A bit.
A bit.
Okay. News and notes.
Okay. Bailey Schultz over at USA Today has given us a partial list of models that are going away next year. And by models, we mean cars, not people who wear clothes for money. We're all kind of knew about the Dodge Charger and Challenger. Stellantis is aiming to have 50% of its passenger car and light duty truck sales come from electric vehicles by 2030. That is going to be a theme you're going to see continued through this entire article. The R8 from Audi and the TT are headed out the door because Audi is working to be fully electric by 2033. Now, the RH is not going to be available in the US. You'll still be able to get that in Europe for a little while, but the TT, the little tiny coupe, is being phased out at the end of the year as compact two-door coupes and roadsters are shrinking in demand worldwide. The Kia Stinger, which was a great car from a terribly marketed, actually it's a good company, but they have terrible dealerships. And even though they have sold more than 65,000 of those, they are gone. The Nissan Maxima, of all Nissans that need to go away, this is not the one, but the Nissan Maxima, 42 years after its first debut. It is halting production of the Maxima mid-year. This decision is also from Nissan's decision to prioritize electric vehicles. 40% of their sales are expected to be fully electric in the next 7 years. The McLaren is ending production of the 720S to order to make room for the 750S. And Mercedes-Benz, this one I did not expect, but they are axing the CLS, the C-Class Coupe and Cabrio, and the E-Class Coupe and Cabriolet. So if you want a two-door Mercedes, you've got to get the AMG GT.
No, they have the CLE now, which is picking the difference between the C and E-Class Coupe. It's kind of a middle ground there. One car is replacing two. And for the CLS, there's the AMG GT 4-door, which is pretty much a CLS.
Yes.
So, yeah. Makes sense. They had very fine niches going on there.
Just add some more letters and smush them around a little bit and see what you end up with.
Earlier this year, our buddy Jeff Clucker over at the Hooniverse actually did a test of the regular CLS. And he even said, I didn't realize Mercedes still made a non-AMG version of this car.
Yep. Well, probably why they're getting rid of it, because not many people want it.
No. That's a shame because it's awesome.
F1 is over with the final race this past weekend in Abu Dhabi. No real surprises there, but the drive redirected us to this Guillermo live interview segment from Jimmy Kimmel Live. The show's comedic regular security guard was at the recent Las Vegas F1 Grand Prix. On the red carpet, he managed to get several F1 drivers and celebrities to make their best impressions of F1 car. Naturally, Red Bull's Sergio Perez kicks it off at the 105 mark, and pole sitter Charles Leclerc would not be outdone. Yuki Tsunoda also gets in on the fun. Drive says the funniest one of all is Esteban Ocon. I think Patrick Dempsey should be commended as well. It's actually pretty funny. I'm surprised he gets to talk to so many people. Like, I feel like he did better than Martin Brundle. So
I think he's more recognizable than Martin.
Maybe you might not. You're not wrong. But yeah, it's actually pretty funny. So Mental has it on, but I would suggest watching it. It was pretty funny. So Yeah.
But notably, you could tell like which of the racers are in a good mood and which of the racers are just even at the F1 level, just too serious. I mean, you do actually get to see all those people. I was surprised Danny Ricciardo wasn't a bigger feature in that one.
Yeah. It was good. I thought it was funny. Good watch.
Well, we know we are your favorite thing that happens on Thursdays, mostly because of Mental's hair and the hilarity that ensues all around. But we're actually auto journalists. All right, we're not really, but
What?
because we can actually drive and don't break things very often. But we do get a sneak peek behind some press releases, and Ford just dropped the new 2024 Ranger Raptor because they found they can make lots of money with the trucks that were Raptor. So high points, aluminum upper and lower control arms and long travel rear suspension with Watts linkage, Fox internal bypass shocks, reinforced frame rails on a box frame, and beefed up shock towers and shock brackets and suspension mounting bolts. So it's beefier. Got it. 8 drive modes, all of the possible things you could do. Great. 4 exhaust modes. So from everywhere from quiet to your neighbors hate you. This is the best part. Instead of the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that every other Ranger has, this one has a twin turbo 3-liter EcoBoost V6 with 405 horsepower, 430 foot-pounds, and the turbos will keep spinning 3 seconds after you back off the throttle to stay spooled. Isn't that fancy? 10-speed transmission, 2-speed transfer case, locking front and rear differentials, plus all the usual BS that every car has to have with cameras and lighting and digital clusters and a Bang & Awful sound stereo. And yeah, I'm sure they will make lots of money with these. But fortunately, these will probably not be driven by as big of a tool as the one who buys the normal Raptor.
Yes, because
But,
you have to be confident to buy the smaller Raptor. You're not compensating with a smaller one.
Not nearly as much.
Yeah, like that 6-wheel Raptor I put in our Slack channel, some time back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I don't know that we've mentioned, well, I mentioned last week, but we haven't talked about it yet, that we're excited to tell you about all the gifts we found for the car lover and those who actually don't love cars. But Racing Junk has a lot of things you can get for your loved ones. So the one place I found I didn't realize they had was a section that had apparel and memorabilia that had some fun items on it. But then I traveled to the store. There's so much there for the car lover in your life. I'm picturing dad who likes to go to rat rod car shows, maybe your sister who loves Jeep. There's so much Jeep stuff. But I stumbled upon, did you go to a track and forget that your family member to get them a shirt? Well, they have shirts with some of your favorite locations, like the NJMP. Huh, who knew? Check it out. I'm sure you'll find something good. There's plenty there, especially if your family likes cars and car things.
That's not bad a price. That's a cool shirt for $30.
Who knew? I didn't expect to stumble upon that. So
Racing
Junk has a lot of good stuff. So yes.
You know what else they have? They've got code POD23 going to get you that Racing Junk Pro membership for more than 50% off. And you get like 30 different bonuses stuff on there. You've heard us say it all before, but go to Racing Junk, do some joy scrolling, bring in your new year. Instead of going to some awful opinionated news website where they're going to tell you something that makes you mad, just go to Racing Junk. Everything on Racing Junk makes me happy.
Who knows how long it's going to stay?
By the $250,000 prices of some of the trailers I see. I go, really? Wow. That's
but I look at them and I go, oh, wait a minute. That's an idea that you could steal. You're much less.
Yes, you can find the things that are interesting on there. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, well.
Upcoming races.
Lemons is at Sonoma for their penultimate 2023 race, and do not be bringing weak themes. I am going to be down there, and I am backed up by Judge Dickman, Judge Tim, and Judge Jeff. We have already coordinated our outfits. Wait until you see them. We have already got the stencils. We've got the stencil for your weak sauce bribe. So don't even try it because you will be branded.
What a great judge lineup that is. Like, I just want to go hang out in the penalty box.
We've been talking about penalties
Oh,
for 3 months.
no.
We have an entire message thread. We've got
Wow.
spreadsheets. We've got everything. I don't think we're going to get through like a quarter of the penalties that we have lined up, and they are going to be deliciously terrible. So it's going to be really, really good. Got 133 cars, which is a lot even for Sonoma, but only 19 of those are BMWs.
That's lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Another
still boring,
19
but
of those. Yeah, it's a bit boring, but you know what? No, 19 of them, because 2 of them I know are swapped, with something. Well, one's a V8 swap, but the other one is like a EcoBoost or something. So those are fun. 19 of the Miatas as well, 12 Hondas, 3 P cars, and one of those is an O2 Boxster.
you can sweat that a little bit.
I can a
Although
little bit.
there's lots of cheap boxers out there. They're especially the non-S's and the early ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eric Rude said things that he's excited about are the return of Scrubby Crazy Mike's Beetle.
I didn't know that was
The
still in
return-
one piece.
Seriously,
Yep.
the return of the Hasselhoff's Paseo, the return of Rancho de Lama, the return of Cerveza Racing. They haven't been around in a while.
Cerveza's back, baby.
Wow.
Yes. What a
F
weekend.
and Buttercup is coming back.
Yeah.
There's the Stellantis Superstars. There's the Bernal Dad's Dajiban, a PT Cruiser from Denver, the Dodge Colts, and Faster Farms Belvedere in their 15th anniversary race. That is amazing. That still
It's
exists.
amazing.
There's a
Yes.
base model 97 Taurus.
Wow.
You got Anton's new Volvo 544 and the 30th
Original
race.
engine, running the original engine and transmission in that one for this race.
It went up and still the original Volvo engine. That's great.
No. Like the replacement when he actually had a running Volvo engine, and he's Anton. Yeah. You know what? Okay. We'll start
try
with this
that.
one. Yeah.
Right. Until he puts the V6 in. And what should be the 30th race for both the Fiero Libre and Half-Life's Miata, and 25th race at least for Hella Shitty's Subaru Beetle.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. This is
It's
the way
good
you end the
It's good
West
lineup.
Coast. This is going to be just great.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good lineup. And it's fun
It
that
is.
you'll be there. Take lots of
Gonna be-
pictures.
Yes. Weather is going to suck.
Oh, is
but
it?
We're going to have a
What
great
is
time.
suck?
Wet and cold.
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, at least
I-
you'll be inside.
You'll be in the garages.
Exactly.
Ish.
Great race.
Tim actually said the thing. I'm really glad I'm not racing this weekend.
Great
Coldish,
race to
yeah.
judge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
no coverage at all out. Well, if you have the garages, but that's not many, and even then, that's only enough for cars, really. So there's not really a whole lot of
Plenty
room,
of room for the judging staff to sit in there.
Oh,
sit in
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
garages, and
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
look out the windows. I don't even have to go outside.
No. I guess you need to have two doors open for them to come in and go out. But yeah, or keep the one closed until somebody comes in, and then you can open it. So that could work. You make it work.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna have a great time with that one. Champ Car. Oh,
Champ
sorry,
Car-
this is you. Yeah.
Oh, you could read it. That's fine too. Champ Cars at VIR. There are 60 cars. 20 of them are BMWs. That's not good,
Boring.
right? 19 are Miatas. So that's
More
like-
boring.
That
right.
is 2/3 of the field.
Mm-hmm.
BMWs or Miatas. Just
Yeah,
point that
and
out.
there's not a whole lot else either. So there's one Honda, 6 Porsches, an '05 Mazda 3.
Hell
Yay.
yeah. Dominate.
What?
Gonna
Right?
dominate.
A Fiero, an
we
85 Celica, and a 72 LTD.
Did
I
they
believe that
sign
is
up
the
for the
s-
wrong race?
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's the same one we've seen at the aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise. I have seen that at Champ Car races, and it had the passing side and suicide, and it's done up like an aircraft carrier because it is
Okay.
almost the size of Buttercup.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
I
great-
thought I
great
read
crew.
that
Yeah.
wrong, but
Nope.
great. I'm surprised that they're allowed to go, but have a great time.
They're actually they're good racers. I mean, they run clean. They've run lemons. Seeing
Sure.
that thing at Daytona was hysterical. So that was
You
years
can be a
ago,
good
but-
racer, and you could have a whole car of amazing racers, and sometimes they might be overlooked by the car that you're driving.
That is
Just
true.
Okay, recent results we have none. But we do.
Well, Abu Dhabi. Yeah. We should have gone through our F1 league.
We could have.
Oh,
Oh,
we
we
don't want to
should.
talk about the winner there.
We
No.
should not, because
No.
he asked for his chicken dinner and he was eating his chicken dinner.
Sunday
so-
morning, he's like, look at this, look at this, look at this, look. So, yeah, I don't know who that. I don't know who won.
Shout out to the winner. How about that?
There we
You know
go.
who you are.
I think early in the season I got to 6th place, and then throughout the season I stayed in 6th place. I don't think I am like perennially McLaren in our own little F1 league.
I started in like 15th, I think, pretty solidly at the bottom, almost at the bottom of people that were still trying to actively play. But I ended up 7th, so that wasn't too bad.
Naturally, we will be doing that again next year, and we will. It's worth absolutely nothing other than trash talk. So,
Yes, we have a good time. Okay, there's plenty of it. I posted a bunch of pictures of work weekend. There's a lot of excitement around the new Civic. Some calling it out to be a Honda Challenge car. Some were surprised that the car even existed. We showed the amazing hydraulic bender that we were able to use. So and that made the job go so much faster. Thank you. Huge shout out to Garage Heroes and Training for the use of their location. They were posting pictures too. We had a great time with them as usual.
And their hospitality and company is we always enjoy it.
Oh, dinner. was
always,
amazing.
you never go wrong with the Get Crew.
Nope. Jaime Garcia at the FF podcast called us, quote, people of culture for having a K-swapped EG hatch. And he's not wrong.
Interesting.
DJ914 said luxury, while Travis B added, we opted for that option as well, referring to the electric automatic tubing bender.
Greg S said, on the benders that are arranged vertically, you can use a cheap electronic protractor to see the degree of bend. Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Isn't that what you guys were doing with the cardboard wheel on the old manual trailer?
Ours are all horizontal benders, not a vertical one.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's a good thought, Greg.
Pantless Matt wanted to know which bender it was, and I told him.
It's an Eastwood.
There we go. All right. Greg OB said, quote, hydraulic benders are a game changer. Hashtag keeping racing casual. And he actually had a picture of his hydraulic bender delivering a drink and a hookah to him while he sat in a chair. Ours is mounted to a 3-railed engine stand that was useless for actual engines. We roll it into the enclosed trailer at least once a year to bend a cage in a different team member's shop. Now, he pointed out that the hydraulic conversion kit that they use is no longer sold, but because he's good people and he's a good racer, he posted a link to a swag model that is almost identical, and that link to eBay will be in our notes.
Chris S said, so happy to see you guys campaigning an EG Civic. He's an old school EG Civic guy. While Scott M also asked another Honda Civic, and I don't know if Scott is bored or interested or what based on that comment.
He was just surprised.
Yep.
Matt offered, hey, do you want to come and work in Fleetwood? We've got wood, dirt floors, and no heat. And I told him we were in a lovely heated hangar. Then thanks to the Garage Hero and Training, which he replied, of course you are. I posted that on Saturday when we had heat. On Sunday, we didn't have heat, and it was very cold up there, which made things exciting.
But then the heat got fixed.
Yeah, what was the temperature up there?
It was in the 30s outside.
Yeah.
All right. Because it got down to 43 last night here.
Oh, wow. Well, when we were leaving, it was like half sleeting and
it's
windy.
My favorite trailering weather is sleeting and windy in the dark.
In the dark, right? And when there's especially at the hangar at the airport, there are so many deer. So it was a challenge. It was great. We made it though.
Yep.
All right. Well, somebody want to, I
You're
feel
already
like this
talking.
Yeah, but this isn't mine, and I yammered on last week. This is also one of our annuals, but this is a creation of one of you two or both.
It's really simple. There's lots of fun stuff you can give or receive this time of year, and instead of giving or receiving something that's crappy just because someone's like, I don't know, here you go, here's the thing, and I don't want this. here are some ideas to help people get you good things. Or if you're not sure what to get the person in your life who might be adjacently interested to this show, here's some great ideas. So these are things that we think would be cool. So maybe this will help you find something good, not just another terrible present from your aunt.
Pink bunnies. Pink bunny.
What's the worst?
Outfit.
Because quick question: what's the worst present you ever received back in the day?
I actually have a good answer for this when I was when I was 8 years old. So yeah, Chrissy, go
and he knows what it is.
I want to go last.
Not batteries. Those were
It's
great.
batteries. I was so pissed. I thought it was like chocolate or like something. I'm like, oh, what did my husband get me? Freaking AA batteries.
I got you a year's supply of batteries because you were out, and now you don't have to go find them.
Let me roll my eyes
gift.
Even further. You do
Practical
not get your
gift, honey.
significant other batteries.
Practical.
Do not.
All
Do
right.
not get batteries.
I remember.
I have an opinion on this. I used to always get batteries, but they would be taped to the device that it went to.
Sure, absolutely. If I got a cool thing and I wanted to put it together and I wanted some batteries, absolutely give me batteries.
Yeah.
But do not give me a box of batteries from Amazon that I could have bought myself for $5, $10, whatever it was, and just wrap it up and say, here, Chrissy, Merry Christmas. Do not.
You didn't need to
you
go
will
seeking
never
out batteries the whole year. It was great.
You will never live that down.
I don't care. I
you
literally
just
don't
dialed
remember anything else.
that
Like
one.
I got that Christmas. I just remember the batteries and
All
not
the
for a
nice
good reason.
gifts I've
Nope.
ever given you, honey.
Nope. Don't
No.
care. Nope.
Yep.
Truth.
I was 12 years old before I realized every time I opened a cool toy that my grandparents gave me, and my grandparents are really good about giving me really cool toys, that it would already have the batteries in it. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a remote controlled Porsche from Radio Shack. Why does it already? And then, literally like flashing back every Christmas, every toy came out of the box, was ready to go, which is awesome, by the way. But I realized my grandfather played with all of them before he wrapped them up. And
Get out. No.
Absolutely. And
Why
I said,
not?
and I said something.
Huh.
And he goes, yeah, got to make sure it works. Wouldn't want to give you a broken one.
Huh.
And
Okay.
still perfectly reasonable because, instead of having to fiddle with something, immediately came out of the box. I was driving that remote control Porsche on hardwood floors, which by the way,
it's
did
nice
an awesome
for
drift all the way around.
it's nice
So, yeah.
for them to take it all apart and like take all the stupid plastic apart. Like when you're so excited, you're like, I just want to play with this. You just roll it out of the box. It's kind of a good
Boom.
idea, actually.
Ready to go. Absolutely.
That's a
Heck
good idea.
yeah.
I think I
Great
was
idea.
like 8 years old. I got a obviously from
Batteries?
their attic. No, not that. I would have enjoyed that. Obviously from their attic. Dusty, at least 20 years old, cheapest plastic checker set you've ever seen in your life from
From who?
elderly aunt on my mom's side.
Wow.
Might as well wrapped up her cat.
Like wasn't even good enough.
No, the
for her to
cat
go
would have been
really-
more fun
right. Seriously.
because no one really likes checkers and no one likes
Oh.
dusty old checkers. So there's that.
Yeah.
So I was, I believe I'm going to say I was 9 or 10 years old. And I went to my dad's house in Atlanta for Christmas, and there under the tree is a giant. I mean, it is 3 feet by 2 feet by half-foot box. I have no idea what it could be. I am so excited, and I don't want to touch it. I don't want to shake it. I don't want to get anywhere near it. I want nothing to spoil what is going to be obvious joy when I open this giant box. Christmas morning, we're unwrapping. I am waiting till last to get to this, and I unwrap it. 9-year-old mental is there. He is so excited. He's hoping it's a race car slot track set or a train set or just something awesome. And it is a suitcase.
Oh,
Which
luggage.
See, adult-
I'm 9 years old and I needed one.
right?
And it was my suitcase and I got a lot of years of use out of it. But Yeah.
Luggage.
Yay.
So adult me now is very excited about luggage,
No,
but
Samsonite.
9-year-old.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We like when we had to go buy luggage to go to Monaco. Oh, we spent like a month researching. We knew what we wanted. We had the dimensions of what was going to fit in the overhead, all that other kind of stuff. And we now have 2 really cool rolling suitcases. And then Vicky's even been looking at the ones that come with motors that you can ride through the airport. Absolutely adult me, all
Like a
kinds of
tiny
geek.
Mito combo.
Yeah. All kinds of geeked about that. 9-year-old me, shittiest script ever. Don't and kind of the same jam. No idea what else I got that year. Don't even remember. Probably a sweater that I put in my new suitcase to go back home.
Oh well, no Truckosaurus that year.
Yes.
Okay, you want to start talking about some of these things?
All right. Well,
So
but let's not end on a foul note. Best gift you've ever gotten, adult or kid, don't care.
I'll give one of each. As a kid, I got not one but 2 versions of the Lego monorail because my parents both loved me and they were divorced.
Nice.
One of which I sold for many hundreds of dollars recently. So, yeah. And more recent adult one, my wonderful wife got me the Quick Jacks when they were first out for Christmas.
It's true. I did
that was talk about a useful gift.
Still working pretty well.
Yeah, there are a dozen teams that probably still thank Chrissy for that gift. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I bought it on pre-sale, so I was one of the first ones to pick them out and get them, and then we had to wait like 6 months till we got them. Why am I failing to remember good Christmas presents? I don't know.
But you remember batteries.
I do remember batteries.
Remember we were talking about unique experiences cause you to make memories. That unique experience.
Sure. Yes. When I just get another
more
sweater
jewelry,
right? More jewelry. Cool. But if I get batteries, I remember it. Okay. I understand your sentiment. I don't think that is the best way to keep a happy marriage, is what I'm saying. Okay.
Have I bought you batteries since?
Oh, you best not, because it's gonna not go well.
I did not.
No,
Hey,
I'm sure
he
I've
can
gotten
learn. He's a smart guy.
He best be a smart guy. I feel like I'm sure I've gotten a lot of awesome things. I just am failing to remember right now.
Any number, both my dad and my grandfather were slight toy nerds. They always still like their toys. And at every Christmas, I think I always got some sort of cool remote control car, usually something from Porsche. Back in the day, if you remember, Radio Shack always had like the huge selection of really great remote control cars. And usually I would get like the fastest or second fastest one from one of those sources. It was always fun. They would eat batteries because that's what things did back in the day. But the one that I stood out to me was a little small Dodge custom van, and it had headlights, and that was just the coolest thing ever.
Wow.
Yes. And just, I remember driving that thing all around the apartment complex when I was growing up. And then one of the best Christmases ever is when I was in Africa back in 2004. Vicky and I had only been married a short time, so we elected to not have Christmas until I returned. Then we set up the Christmas tree, and just after the first of the year, promptly took all the money we were going to spend on each other and spent 2 days at the mall just making it rain. I came home with so much Craftsman, so many toolboxes.
Wow.
It was awesome. And that was also the year I got my first welder, got my Lincoln 110.
Wow.
And that lasted me until last year.
Huh. Okay, let's talk about what we got going on this year, because we're already like dragged on the show long, and we've got a lot to talk about.
What is your best Christmas gift? Let us know in the comments. Email us. Get a hold of us.
That would be fun.
Text me. All the crap Chris is going to say at the end of the show.
Yep. Right.
Yep. I'll start us off on this is for car people, not necessarily racing people, but car people suggestions I've got. First thing is essentially anything from Griot's Garage, and you can say, oh, it's bougie and expensive. It's like, yeah, but I don't know anyone that's ever bought anything there that they're disappointed with. Everything there is good. And if anything I would get their ceramic 3-in-1 wax, because it just really, really works, and it's practically useful. It's not for the car that you only sits around and rub with a diaper, but this is for the car that, actually out and working. You want it to look nice, something that you actually use and drive occasionally that's going to get a little dirty, even though if it's not a truck or anything, that's okay. You still want it to look good. Get stuff from Griots.
GRIOTS, Garage.
Yes.
Obviously, all the links will be in our show notes.
Yes. But if in case you haven't heard it, and if you're not sitting at a computer watching this, then you may just want to be able to type it in your phone.
Now, I think for those of you who work in industrial areas, warehouses, manufacturing plants, factories, anything like that, you probably know what a pig mat is. I hadn't really seen them or know what the word was for them until I was walking around with Chrissy in her manufacturing plant. There was something leaking. She's like, "Oh, here, I'll grab a pig mat." Grabs a pig mat.
There's pig mats on every corner of my plant.
It's like a huge, super absorbent paper towel.
Paper towel, yes, absolutely. And they come with all kinds of different, 4 different things. So if you have just oil and just, what, I'm sorry.
How many times have you made a mess doing an oil change or something, or just something starts leaking on that oil swap, and you're like, "Oh god damn, there's oil everywhere. Oh, I'm gonna clean this up," and you use like a whole roll of paper towels to do it, and you're so sad. Well, get these things instead. They're super absorbent to pick up all that stuff for when you have those inevitable, Valdez moments working on cars.
It's also would be nice for times like I was thinking of oil changes or changes that like the oil wasn't supposed to spat out that way. But when you're already lying under the car, you don't want to put kitty litter down to pick it all up because you're still laying there. So it's kind of nice to be able to just take them away with a pad instead of kitty litter or paper towels. Yeah, so, but they should come in a bunch of different types for whatever you think you might be.
And they come in huge boxes. We have a link to basically a paper towel roll of them, so you're not going to be using quite as many. Depends on how messy you are. I mean, mental maybe get the box. I'll buy the roll, for example.
Yeah, no, that's that's valid.
We have cases on every corner. You see something on the ground, put one down. That's how it goes around my place.
Yep.
Plating full of them. Yes. You want to keep going?
I keep going. I'll just go through my list here.
While batteries are terrible, tool batteries.
Yeah. So this is, I'll very quickly run down the usual suspects that I say every year because these are perennial classics. Tool batteries for the ecosystem in which you operate. No one is ever upset by that. WeatherTech mats. Everyone loves those. They are phenomenal. Work gloves. You can never have too many until your friend sends you an entire case. And it takes a few years to get through them because they're really durable and good quality. And if you wash them, they really last, and you still have a lot. But still, every time I open a new packet, I said, "Thanks, Mental." And
which just shows that it's a good gift.
Exactly right. Work lights, those $15 Bendy Harbor Freight ones, those are great.
They are great.
Or even some of the bigger, brighter ones. The ones that go on your head, the headlamps. Yeah.
The ones you guys clicked on last year, the bendy LED strips, one that had like the yes. Oh God, dude, I'm surprised it still works. I wear that thing constantly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think we have those things. Oh, do we have that later? Or that's a shop light? Not your headlight.
Ones. Yeah.
Okay.
So all those things. No, I don't have specific links for those, but just those are all great. I'm not going to go on and on about them because we talk about them every year, but I can't not say them because they're all great. All right, two more things. Some sort of art that has their car, and it could be a blueprint. It could be one of those metal wall silhouette things, an early ad poster, something, etc. But something that actually is their car. Sometimes there's some people that cut the ads out of old National Geographics and things like that to have out there. Like, there's Mental with an old ad for a 914, even though that one looks very different from his 914.
That's not the point.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
I love that in that ad they refer to it as an all-weather Porsche. I'm like, you work there and you clearly never drove one.
All weather.
Well, the people at the ad agency didn't. That's for sure.
No,
Right.
but I've got a friend of mine, good buddy Adam, and he lives down in Texas. We were in the military together, but he when his dad passed away, he was assigned the job of cleaning out the garage and rather just go through. And his dad saved a stack of magazines, and he went through. And if you remember, back when we first moved to Las Vegas, I actually had the hanging ads because he went through and found old ads for cars that I would like, for other things that other people would like. And he spent hours and it wasn't even a holiday time and mailed them out to all of his friends of, here's a 40-year-old ad for a thing you like. And it was just really thoughtful and cool. And so that's something you can even do like during the year if you find old magazines and that sort of thing or Popular Science or Road and Track or any of those articles. Playboy is actually really good for cool ads from back in the 70s. You find those things and cut them out and send them to your friends on a reinforced cardboard thing. I think that does make a thoughtful and caring gift that you don't have to spend a lot of money on.
Absolutely. Great. Last one, Harbor Freight Icon tools. Everyone thinks Harbor Freight is cheap crap. The Icon stuff is like pro quality stuff. It is great. Anything there, except it'll be good quality and appreciated.
I got the infamous bribe years ago from the Garage Heroes in Training of the gold-plated ratchet, but it was such a good ratchet I went and got like a regular one because they're fantastic ratchets. How many? What's the teeth count on that one? The Icon
like
is
97 or something stupid
awesome.
like that.
Yes,
you need all of those.
Yep.
It is great because you just the slightest, especially if you got in a tight space, like, I don't know, you got a thing for German cars and every working space in there gives you no room. That's a great one.
Yep. So that was my list for car people.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I have a couple. I just want to make sure my things made the list. They're in a list that's later. Some of these for car people could also be other things that I've listed later. So do you pull links for me? Okay. So I said breaks the bank. What? Okay. Somebody's good.
I said I got it.
Chris is going to share them. Awesome. Cool.
Breaks the bank, but I'm pretty sure this is the new one, F1 Lego. I think this is McLaren is the one I pulled the link for. Pretty pricey, but super fun. We did one that was Caterham, right? What do we do? What the one down there? They're intricate. They take a while. They're kind of calming. They come with a lot of bags and a lot of instruction, but they're kind of fun. So pretty expensive, but they have a lot of them out there. But I'm pretty sure the F1 one is fairly new, or at least that the McLaren colors are current. So, so that's out there. What do they have?
I like that the frustration-free packaging is $17 more than the standard packaging. So do you want to pay $17 for less frustration in your packaging? That's a good question.
Frustration is kind of an interesting thing when you're trying to do a Lego. Like, it's kind of puzzling in the first place. So if you just don't want puzzling bags, then what are you doing with a whatever Lego? Okay, fine. Funny. Yes. So that was one of them. This is the next one that I found. It is, and nobody else wants this except for me, but I found a mug that says, I love Leclerc and all people that hit Max.
Yes.
I don't need another mug, but this one came up and I didn't even go. So here's a standard. Go to Etsy and look
at them for everyone.
Do they? I just happened to stumble on the one that says I love science and anyone who that crashes into Max. So this is awesome. I think it's hilarious, and I think I need one, even though I don't need another mug. But it's funny. So So back to my
wow. Yes, this is where everyone who listens to this should really do. They should save this link and then find out, say, like, if you're going to a lemons race and you need a good bribe that's original, you find out whoever that is, who they don't like. For example, mine would say, I love Checo and anyone that crashes into Max.
Yep. This
But,
and obviously this Etsy seller has a great sense of humor and
Yeah.
understands culture, current F1 culture.
Absolutely.
But here's my banner is a great present for anybody, for car people. It kind of going along with what Chris was saying for blueprints and metals and finding something art about their car. Basically go to Etsy and type in somebody's favorite car, and you can find everything, even fairly obscure cars. So I would suggest you start there and find cool things. That's usually what I do. Okay. I don't have a link for this one, but maybe Chris can recall what company it was, but a nice dedicated cleaning sponge for the nicest car that you have, only for that car. I'm pretty sure it's microfiber. What are the green ones that we have? I'm pretty sure you just got them on Amazon.
Yeah.
But getting one sponge, because you end up with sponges or rags or whatever, and they just end up using the same one for the wheels, the same one for the car. So I suggest just finding a nice one, and you say, this is the dedicated. We have a dedicated NSX only one. You're not allowed to use it for any other car. And then we have the next grade down, where the fairly nicer ones for the Merc, and then nicer one, and then crappy ones for everything else. So anyway, I would suggest that is a nice gift, and make sure people know that was only for them. And then lastly, I have, which I thought was a fun thing, another thing from Etsy, is a miniature of your car. So basically, you give this guy a picture of your car, and they will make a Hot Wheels of your car. And so,
my gosh,
the one thing about it is that I started reading the reviews, and a lot of them are great. There are a couple that said it's, especially during Christmas time, I don't know that this guy, I think it's a guy who just makes them. But especially for like a birthday or something that's not necessarily Christmas, or order it now and maybe you'll get it by then. Some people said that it just took them a little bit of time, because I'm pretty sure there's a guy who just makes them. So and the reviews are saying like they worked it to find the intricacies of the cars. It's pretty pricey. This is listed at $120 for this guy, and I think they're around that. But yeah, so fun thing, found it on Etsy. And if you have somebody who has a fun car that they think that would be very valuable to them, memorable, then it's a fun thing for them.
that is so effing fantastic. Love it, man. I wonder if I could still get one for the CLS. Oh, that would be fun. All right. Very excited about that one. Okay. You guys are kicking the crap out of me on this one. For this one, I'm just going to throw this out there. Grassroots Motorsports it's the Cyber Monday, but I checked it today. It's still there. They've got 8 issues, which is a year's subscription for $19.99. Cool. So head over to grassrootsmotorsports.com and get someone a gift subscription to GRM. When I'm done reading mine, I take them to work. They go into, we have a staff only bathroom, which has a very roomy stall in there, so mine go in there, and they get added to the reading material, because every military base I've ever been to, all the reading material is always some sort of firearm magazine and airplanes. And so Grassroots Motorsports, even if you're just minorly interested, it's a good magazine with great photography, and it's a very tiny staff. They operate down there in a small place in Florida, and it's well written, and the way they present everything, you feel like the people in there. Peter Brock writes a column for them, so it's a good magazine, and we've all got tie-ins way back in the day to Grassroots Motorsports. So that's a great one.
I didn't realize they're still doing paper, because I think Chris stopped getting the paper ones.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you have stacks and stacks and you don't also have a place at work to give them, I'm pretty sure your local library will take them. That's where all of ours went.
Ooh, that's brilliant. That's rock solid too.
Yeah. So people are happy to read them. And most of the time they don't really matter so much about what year and month they are. So, Yep.
And the thing I like about GRM, and they do this for both GRM and Classic Motorsports, is either they ship them to you in a plastic bag with the shipping label on there, or the label is actually really easy to peel off without ripping the cover off the magazine. So you can very quickly just take your address off of those magazines that you're donating to various things on there. Now I'm going to go slightly different. You guys heard me a couple of weeks ago talk about how I detailed the interior of my Miata with the Chemical Guys interior detailer kit. And this is the one I've got. Now the one, it comes with the 2 bottle or 4 bottles of stuff. It's got the dedicated microfibers that Chrissy talked about, and the sponges and the towels. So it's $60. But if you just go to their store, this is amazing stuff. I am so impressed. Hashtag they should totally sponsor us. But yes, the Chemical Guys leather cleaner, conditioner, detailing kit for interiors, and it actually works on boots and everything like that. This is a just amazing product that makes your car smell so good. Now, the last thing on there, if you live in the north, you need those WeatherTech mats. They are rock solid. They're made in America. That, you know, all the good stuff about American-made company products. But if you don't live someplace where you need those, or maybe when you're done with that, I got into the Porsche that I'm borrowing right now, and of course he's got Cocoa mats because they're the classics. They make them for more than just Porsches. And I know a guy who just got a haircut and a Miata, and his Miata is getting a set of these Cocoa mats for the springtime. They are durable, but they look good. The patterns on them actually tend to hide a little bit of dirt. They add a little bit of class. They're really cool. They are like this natural kind of fiber-ish type stuff. They are also made in America, and you can get them either classic styles, new styles, Porsche styles, everything of that nature. It is a really, really good mat that stays in place, doesn't get bound up underneath your accelerator or brake pedals. They are not cheap, but they're actually not that expensive. So you can get a set starting at about $200, but they will probably outlast your car. So Cocoa mats for someone, especially if they're not a racing person, but they like having a nice kind of classically styled car, Cocoa mats. Yeah, actually,
Cool.
that's the color I want that you just had right there, that red and black, because it's going to match my red stitching on the Miata pretty
Ooh.
darn well.
Okay.
So
fantastic.
yeah, again, yeah, I'm weak sauce on that one because you guys really brought the A game on those. Those are all fantastic ideas.
We're not done. Dun, dun, dun.
Da, da, da.
So someday I'll put Cocoa mats when I have a 60s Mercedes or early,
Oh yeah,
like a W109 with Cocoa mats is, man, just
oh,
get my
any Mercedes with stacked headlights. Bam.
Yep. Just get my corduroy jacket and leather elbow pads out now for the
Which you have, so you could just get that out of the
That's true.
closet. So it's that's the thing.
That's true.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is for racing people. Okay. You're a racer. You've got red mist. You need stuff. First one on my list is because if you're a racer, that means you have a race car, which means you have a trailer. If you have a trailer, you need E-Track and accessories. If you don't know what E-Track is, it's this metal strip that you can just screw into the wall of your trailer or the floor or the ceiling for that matter. And it has these little square holes in it. And there's a million different possible attachments for the E-Track system there. Like we've got ones that are even just straps with E-Track at the end, or we've got ones that specifically attach a spare tire, or hooks, or ones that hold 2x4s. You can put something across it there. Basically, you name it, someone makes an attachment for it, like motorcycle fork attachments, through the wheel tie down attachments. There's everything for this. So if you don't have E-Track, get it.
Yeah. What's great about E-Track is it doesn't even have to be a covered trailer. This stuff is durable enough to be on an open trailer.
Yeah, just steel. I mean, if it's steel, you have a steel open trailer, you just weld it to it. Bang, there you go. And it just makes it so much easier for tying things down and securing things. And there's so many attachments that you can have, not just for the E-Track, not just the track itself, but the attachments are where it's worth it. So E-Track. Next one is a battery-powered tire inflator for their ecosystem. We first tried this out with, I think Dean or Matt had a Milwaukee one. And when we were out at Buttonwillow, and it was great. Oh, let's put tire pressure in, put 26, push the button, walk away.
Pretty sure that was last year's gift. I gave you that last year, I think.
You did. That's why I'm saying it was great. Chrissy got me Makita one. The one downside with the Makita one is it has a trigger you pull for it to go, which
Correct.
So you have to stand there. So I just got a little like
like a
reusable
twist
tie
tie.
thing, and I just twist tie it up because it stops when it's done. But I do set the pressure, our third 28 psi, put the thing on it, walk away. So convenient and easy and small and light and just worth it. This next one is a 3-Pedal Mafia perennial favorite. Everyone needs their own hot tub, right?
The problem is the more people that bring them to the East Coast races, the more problem we're gonna have getting water. But that's for later us to worry about.
That's a great problem to have.
Sure,
if we've got too many people bringing hot tubs, that means we have too many people trying to have fun. And these things are, they're not cheap, but they're not that expensive, really, in the big scheme of things, especially for how much fun you have with them. This one was on sale
to a degree. Like if you've had that rough day where the car beat the crap out of you, this actually has some legit therapeutic, purpose behind it.
Yeah.
I remember the Pittsburgh race when, I was getting ready to go home because I was judging and you guys are racing, and you said, oh, sure, you go back to your hotel and, have dinner, or you could stay here with all your racing friends and probably climb into the hot tub. And I got to the hot tub and I'm like, oh God, dude, I've been on my feet all day. This is before I had my foot surgery. So my legs were killing me. I was like, yeah, I totally needed that.
Yeah. It's great. It's until it becomes man soup. And even then, if you're drunk enough, it's still okay.
Yeah, it's still okay.
No, it's not. It's not okay.
Put some carrots and celery and onions in there.
Ew. And then soap later, depending on how drunk everybody is. So I just think this is not a great plan. You guys do you though.
Another thing you're doing, if you are a racing car person, you are definitely working on your car, at least somewhat. And the worst thing in working on your car is if you are working in a poorly lit, dark, dank area. So you need some lights, some shop lights. These things are fantastic. These Barina LED T5 fixtures. These are like a staple of people on the GRM board. That's how I got turned on to them. We've got them in our downstairs workshop right now. If I had known, these things didn't exist when I put the lights out in our garage, but if they did, everywhere. They're cheap, they're lightweight, they're easy to install. They use no power, basically. They can be strung together just by plugging them in like next to each other, or they have the cords that go between them for longer runs. You can hardwire them. You can put them in a plug. They're so easy in every possible way. They throw out a ton of light. You can even just have a couple on a string on the floor and use those as undercar work lights too. Works out great.
I actually bought all these when I was coaching the marksmanship team because the targets had to be lit and we needed something that we could carry from event to event. It had to be cheap. I had to be able to plug it in, pack it up, and it had to be a little durable, take some abuse. They were fantastic. I think it was on your recommendation that I got those too.
They're so good and so cheap and so easy. Just do it. And
let's do it.
Last thing on my list is if they're a person that welds at all, the first welding helmet probably is that $50 Harbor Freight one or other generic equivalent of just starting, right?
It's kind of like your racing suit. First one you buy, you wear it for a while and you're like, all right, this isn't great, but we're doing the job.
Yeah. Then you spend money on like a proper one and you're like, oh my God, I waited too long.
Mm-hmm.
Should have got the good one.
This is one of those things. And I'm not saying buy a $600 Miller or Lincoln like a professional, but at least like the best one Harbor Freight has. Like this one, it's $170. It's got a huge eye port. It's got cushioned.
Oh, that is
nicely,
cushions.
Where was that when I was welding
things.
with all my hair? And it would all get caught in the adjuster.
And other little pads up on the top. Like it's comfortable to wear. The optic is better. You're going to actually have better protection from that kind of thing. It's a luxury if you're welding. If you're not welding much, it's a necessity if you're welding a lot. Too many people, I think, are struggling with crappy welding helmets,
Well,
including.
and you do that. You do the welding helmet. It's not good for your eyes. And how many times before you got your auto darkening, you get the torch right where you need it. You've already got the ground. You've got your second hand on there, and then you do the head bob to knock the helmet down and lose your place. And because it's already dark, you only see when you start welding, and then realize you've just done a perfect bead nowhere near where you needed it to go.
Or when the screen doesn't actually auto darken. That happened this weekend. That was exciting.
Flash. Yay.
And the time, and this is one step up from squint and squeeze. So that's even
Put on your safety squints, everybody.
Multiple steps up. All the games you play when somebody else is welding and they don't tell you they're welding every time, because then you realize that they're welding. Great list. I only have one to add here because I have a whole bunch of in the next section. I'm suggesting to get an Apex. You could get a Garmin, you could get a Catalyst, you get all of those things. But I have enjoyed the Apex. It gives you enough information. Or some telemetry, because chances are you've been racing for a while, you think you're pretty good, but having some more data is helpful. And I think the Apex give you some little lights that just tells you red or green, kind of goes in your eyesight on the roll cage in front of you, and will capture your data log and capture information about your laps, especially for testing days are really nice. So I think this is a fun gift. I'm pretty sure Garage Heroes has we'll have to pull their coupon code.
It loves Apex.
Is that what it is?
I think they get you a free windshield mount.
Great. So I think an Apex. So you could get something that's higher tech that I think the Garmin tells you, it says good job, or that was better, or something, it talks to you. And I think that's just kind of too much information, especially if you are not looking for a whole lot of information. If you're just like, yeah, I think I'd like to know if I'm doing better than the last race, the last lap, other than like, oh, I felt better. Yeah. You could do that a bunch, but yeah.
Well, but then when you want that level of information, when you're out of the car, you can dig all that up, because it does do the full up GPS positioning
right.
software.
Yep, lay it on.
That's a great one. And depending on where you are in your driving thing, I know, like I had this conversation with Jeff Hanka. He does not like putting those in his cars, because then it becomes a genital measuring contest of who could do the best. But when you've got a team of mature drivers that are working together, you get someone to lay down a reference lap. And when we were driving the Corvette, we knew that our reference was about 222. That's what we wanted to do. And having that in the car just gave you a good, okay, I'm on target. I'm not over driving the car. I'm not under driving the car. I'm where we need to be to complete this 8-hour race. So there's multiple uses other than just trying to set the hottest lap, if you've got the maturity and the big picture view in your race team. I know the one that you guys run in the Mazda 3 was immensely helpful, because it had been years since I'd driven New Hampshire, and I knew I could keep the car on pace and not overdrive it, because Chris had a reference lap in there. It's fantastic.
Okay, that's mine.
In the same ilk that Chris and Chrissy were just talking about, you get into this racing habit and you do it for a while, and you start with the cheapest possible equipment you can, because that's how racing works. You don't want to spend any money till you have to. One of the things that everyone starts with, and then everyone regrets immediately after upgrading, is everyone starts out with a nice Kirky aluminum seat, because they're cheap. They're lightweight, and you can find them on Facebook Marketplace. And honestly, they are safe.
There's a reason there's so many for sale used. I'm just going to put that out there.
Exactly. Right? That is exactly my point there. And you know what? I sent it to myself in the email, and I forgot to do it, but I'm going to copy this link address and open it in a new window and share this one. But one of those things is a good, proper racing seat. Now, our friends over at Discovery Parts, they are based right there in at Atlanta Motorsports Park, veteran-owned business. A good racing seat. Now, they've got 30% off this Cobra Sebring Pro Fit It's good until 2027. Now
It's a
it is the
Halo seat.
standard width, but it
Yeah.
is a Halo. It is designed to work with your Hans, and it gets in there, and all of the wear parts, the places where you get in and out of the car, are reinforced. It's a breathable fabric, so it won't get all kinds of nasty after a while. You can use a 4, 5, or 6-point harness. It's a spacer cool fabric. You've got, some of them have different color options. This particular one, it comes in black, but it's really good. It mounts on the side. You use high on this. It's FIA approved. It's everything. And you spend a 2-hour stint in a good, proper racing seat, you will immediately notice a difference, especially if you're half a century old. So throw that one out there, but a good racing seat is a good gift. And this one, yes, it's $800. That's 30% off, but you can go out there and find the one. What's the one you guys are running in the Mazda? Cause I did love that one.
All of our cars have an OMP HTER. The Civic has an HTER 400, which has slightly smaller halos for egress, but
yes,
those are similar price point, but they're all day comfortable.
Yes.
Really.
The other team that, I've run with the Inglorious Bastards, and they all got really, really tired of aluminum Kirkies in their Mazda, and they got the proper comfortable seats. And as Jerry likes to say, we had to get them in the big boy size. But what I have found is that these nice padded seats, if you get into a seat that is too big for you, it's a lot easier to work yourself in there and still be safe on a good, proper, full-size seat. And of course, the other option that you want to talk about, upgrading, and you can go absolutely off the rails and spend $5,000 on a racing suit, or right here, Sparco 2.0. It's an evolution of the Jade suit. It is not the best, but it is an absolute improvement over that $99 thing you bought off the Lemons website 5 years ago, which is a great place to start until you wear a good racing
Nomex
suit.
or is it Pro Band still?
Oh, okay. So newer evolution, updated lighter soft material. It doesn't
if it doesn't say
here
Nomex.
It is
Okay.
aromatic material. So it's lighter weight. So you're not wearing the quilt.
Yep.
And it
Good.
breathes. So it's not a wet quilt on there.
Yeah.
Pre-curved arms. It's got the stretchy parts in the back. And you can go all the way up to like a really good. In fact, Discovery Parts have all of their suits on sale right now, especially their closeouts. But for $300, this is a really good price point for this suit. And it is also 30% off right now. So I just throw that out there is, you've been doing this for a while. Maybe it's time to upgrade some of the more common stuff.
First race with a new suit. I was like, this
where have you been on my life?
Yeah, exactly. So many things. Why was I not doing this the whole time? The same thing with our cool shirts. Why were we not doing this from the start? Yeah. And a good race suit is exactly the same. I know you're an OMP guy. And I've got a Sparco. In fact, my Sparco, I basically bought new when Pantless Matt couldn't fit into it.
Yeah, I've got an Alpine Stars that I've had.
Oh, sorry, that's right. A-Stars. I'm
ever.
sorry, that was it. Yeah.
Yep.
And I have a Sparco.
Yes.
Yes.
So these are good, proper suits.
Hashtag worth it. But,
yes.
Yep.
Totally worth it.
All right, let's move on to some stocking stuffers. We already talked about these headlamps. The strip headlamps. They're so cheap. They're so good. Just litter the world. I'll use a Jeff term, just Johnny Appleseed everywhere. Drop some of these headlamps everywhere you go, and it totally makes it worthwhile.
And so these are from Amazon.
Yeah.
And so I needed some headlamps at work because we were going through some construction and people seeing it that we were working there. And we looked it up on Grainger and we're like, okay, we're going to buy these. And I think they were like $100 a piece, or maybe it was a 2-pack for $100 anyway. And I was like, no, we're just going to get 2 packs of these because the ones that are listed, they're 22. I thought they used to be 16-ish, but still for 22 bands for $22 is so cheap. That is
these ones have not just the strip on the side, but also some spotlights spotlights on the side in addition to the strip around the head. So it's a bit of
What?
both.
Yeah. So,
that looks
do
pretty
not
good.
right. There are plenty of Chineseiums that are on Amazon that are worth it. So go there first. Don't try to go fancy and just go to some place like
This
Ranger
is
that
this is one of those tools that you find uses for that you didn't think you had. I literally used mine last night unloading my RV because the sun's
Oh,
going
heck
down here
yeah.
about 4:30, and I'm just walking across my driveway, and I've got outside lights, but this keeps me from tripping over stuff. It's
I used it
so
tonight
great.
on dealing with the Civic, getting out of the trailer. Yep.
Yeah, these are just absolutely wonderful. These are
Okay.
you go in here, and I think one of the options on here, you can get the 1 pack for $15, a 2-pack for $22, which is amazing. And then they even have 3-pack for $30. You get a 5-pack for $40. You get a 5-pack for $40, and then you give one to each of your friends as a stocking stuffer.
The problem is,
And-
don't all put them on at once and look at each other because you'll die.
Oh, too bright.
It is.
They're so bright. They hurt you. Don't look
All
at
right.
your friends. Don't
Yep.
look at anybody
But
else.
this will put your gift on your friend's best gift
Hot
ever.
list.
And what I also love about them is they're USB rechargeable.
Oh, yeah.
So you can charge them on the way to the track in your car using the same thing you use to charge your iPhone. You don't have to worry about the batteries running out or any of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's
Okay. Chris has
Next
Chris
one
has-
is a decent quality, not the $10 Harbor Freight one, multi-mode, multi-type battery charger maintainer thing. I've been using the cheap one. Yeah, I've been using the cheap ones for a long time. They're totally fine on old lead acid batteries, but like I've got an AGM battery in the NSX, for example. So if you get a better quality smart battery charger maintainer thing, this one goes 2 amps, so it'll charge up a battery fairly quickly, but it also can back itself down to just maintain, and it'll
It's
deal
so
with.
small.
It's tiny, but it works, and it doesn't give the power like that
What?
big old Sears
Oh,
one
like
that
the
I
big
have.
one? Oh, okay.
Right. That's like a 10 amp, but this one, it's better than the tiniest little ones. So would recommend something like this, and it has settings
it.
for AGM and lithium batteries too. And so if you have any of those, get that. And even if you don't, just get it. You probably will at some point. So these are not too expensive, and it's really nice when you come back to your car after the winter or your boat or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And everything just
Scooty,
starts.
We've
No
been
problem.
doing that with all of our
All
cars.
just starts.
Okay.
Next one. This needs to go in everyone's stocking. Everyone's.
I didn't know this existed. I mean,
It
I
is a Harbor
guess
Freight. It is
I did actually know, and this is wonderful.
I am not surprised.
10 pieces, 10 tools, 10 10mm sockets. And it's all different kinds of 10mm sockets. You got
that's
3/8
pretty.
short, 3/8
It's
long,
pretty.
Ever
quarter inch
good.
drive. Can we just look at the pictures, Mental, instead of the video, please?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
It's got a universal one. It's got 2 different universal ones. It's got 8, 12 point, 6 point, all of them. So when you inevitably lose them, because that's always the joke, is you lose 10-point sockets.
Now they have different ones. It's not just a 10-pack of 10 of the normal
This
ones.
is a 10-pack of
a swivel. Yeah.
different
Two
10-point
swivels.
sockets.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I like this one. Good one.
And it's cheap too, I think.
It is. No, you're absolutely right.
15 bucks.
They're $15, and you're getting literally like 9 of them.
This is like a year's supply of 10mm sockets.
In fact, no, it's 10 millimeters. Duh,
Yeah.
that's the joke. Yeah.
That's 10 exactly. So that's great. Last one I've got. This is it's a digital torque adapter. This is a piece you put between your ratchet and the socket that makes anything a torque wrench, essentially. So just this little square box that you put your socket on one end, put the ratchet in the other. You pull on the ratchet and it measures the torque between the two. So there's some spots where, maybe you don't want to fit your whole torque wrench in, or, you don't want to have the torque wrench out for this, or the torque wrench doesn't go down to the right, small torque that you're using. Well, great. You can use this, and it really lets you use the right torque anywhere.
Looks like we're going to Harbor Freight.
That is totally
Cool.
getting added into my cart before we are
Right?
done.
You could just
today.
push or add to cart because you have it open.
That
Okay,
is
I have
fantastic.
a few fun ones here. So I found these coasters, and they are little mats. They are basically like weather tech. Oh, that's okay. I was gonna say they're like little
Okay.
weather techs for your drinks.
They are.
And I
They're
thought
little
they were so
floor
fun.
mats.
Little floor mats. They're weather techs for your drinks.
And they say cheers. This is awesome.
Isn't that cute? Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Car mat
Okay.
coasters.
Carmack coasters, add to cart, Amazon, $15. Okay. This is all the rage. These light up neon race car lights. I've seen them like on every holiday list. They look super fun. I don't know. I think the one that we have, I don't know that you can change from this what Ferrari. I don't know what it is. Or is it made generic sports
I think it's
car,
a
something like
generic
that? Generic.
Lambo-ish kind of thing.
Yes, right.
But
they're
just enough not Lambo to get sued.
basically right. But there's a whole bunch of them, and I'm pretty sure Etsy had a bunch that were different cars you could pick out. So the light up neon race car, and I'm pretty sure it just comes on a little base, and that's why I put it in stocking stuffers, because I'm pretty sure you could just buy the base and it just becomes this kind of like 3D light that might be fun for nephew's bedrooms, or if you just want some mood lighting in the corner. Seem pretty cool. I'm pretty cheap. The last thing I had was a race seat phone holder. There's somebody, I believe, on Etsy that is making 3D printed. I have one.
Yeah.
I have
Our
one.
buddy
Chris is
Cam
looking.
Lopez made me
Oh,
one.
Yep. I have one on my desk as well. So I thought they're pretty fun. Somebody caught on, and they're not too expensive. So I thought that'd be a fun thing. They hold your phone, but they also hold other crap. So yeah. Fun thing for your
And
desk.
what I like is you can go up and down or vertical. They can go both directions on those. It's legit.
Okay. That's what I had.
Those are great. All right. Now I've got to quickly
yours a
talk
s-
about this because
A
my
stocking stuffer?
my links did not come across on the email. Here it is.
They did
And
not.
this actually, it is a terrible stocking stuffer. However, I'm going to
I
say
feel like
this.
it takes up the whole stocking. unless it's-
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Just making sure.
I missed the target, but I'm going to share it anyway because I feel
That's fine.
like it's a good gift. So what we're talking about here is this Ryobi 7
It's like a
six
whole
piece
duffel
toolkit.
bag. That's not a stocking.
It is.
Stuffer,
It's a
but
six
okay.
piece, but like you can take the tools out, each of them go in there. And this is not just for car people. You've got the torque wrench, or rather you've got the impact gun and the drill, but you've also got a light, a multi-tool, a Sawzall, which how often do you need a Sawzall when you're at a race weekend? Always. Someone's, ahead of you in the point standing. Sawzall solves the problem. Your Sasha, too much roof, solves the problem. But this is a really good one. This is the pricing on this is it's $199 for 6 tools plus the battery and the charger on that one. This used to be $300. So this is a substantial amount. And if you actually bought all these tools separately, it's like $550.
Interesting idea.
The combo is the way to go on a lot of those things.
You have so many tabs.
Because
open.
it automatically puts you in the same what's the phrase you use for the battery ecosystem of the batteries, and now you're committed and everyone else knows what to do.
Oh, that's for non-car people. That is not the stocking stuffer that you have listed here, because I was not really sure how your stocking stuffer was.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
That is not the stocking stuffer on
the
this
link's
one.
also not there.
Oh
but
goodness.
That's okay. We can move on. I
No,
just don't know what that is.
So, okay. If you are going to the track a lot and you just open the damn link email, you go to the track a lot. Now, sometimes if you've got to go to the bathroom, it's a hell of a walk and you don't always want to do that. And you can't, like, everybody's got those dumb scooters, or you're not in the mood for a bicycle,
or awesome
you can't hold your
scooters.
beer, or sometimes they're awesome scooters, but some of
And
them
they do hold your beer.
those not your scooter, like those little electric ones, the bird scooters and stuff like that. But what about an electric skateboard. And these guys are recognized in the industry as the best.
This
And you can, for
seems
340 bucks,
terrifying.
you can get a small one, you get a large one. It will fit. The small one will fit in your luggage. Just take the battery out of it in accordance with all these. Hashtag don't sue us. But you can roll through the paddock in style with an electric skateboard. They come with a hand control. You accelerate, you decelerate, they have brakes. And these guys are widely recognized as the premier, and it's not that expensive. 340 bucks. You'll spend 250 on one of those silly little scooters that you can't take on an airplane if you're flying to races, but you could totally take one of these. I got lost. I apologize for my.
That's okay. I was like, we're pretty sure that that's what Chris said. He's like, that's a duffel bag that will not fit in your stocking.
Yes. Nope. That was the one that I had for the non-car people.
It's all good.
We'll make
No
the
problem.
transition to non-car people.
Non-car
Hey, why
people.
not get them that 6-piece Ryobi set for only $199.
Thank you.
Great.
Yep.
All right, I'll keep going with the non-car people stuff. If someone doesn't have a decent set of wireless earbuds, you can get them a set. They're really convenient and handy.
I don't know how people live with a cord anymore.
Right.
What?
Yeah. So there you go. Simple one. Go. There's all kinds of ways to find them. Like Wirecutter will have a nice article about it, I'm sure, or all those kind of things. Find them something decent. Okay. Next one, I'll pull right up here. It's something we got this year and have used, I guess, I'm going to say more than I even expected to. And that is a meat smoker. And you can go so far down the rabbit hole on these things, but I think if you're just starting out, start simple. This is basically the one we have. It's a master built analog electric meat smoker. It's a box with a heating element and stuff in it. And you've got a tray for the chips and a tray for water and racks for your stuff. It doesn't get much more simple than this. All you need is a good quality thermometer inside to tell you what's going on, because the one on there isn't the most accurate. Try it. It's delicious.
It's delicious. The only problem is that you have to commit. So if you want dinner, you have to start at, on Saturday, we say, let's have some ribs for dinner. You say, oh, I have to start like really early in the morning.
Ribs are 6 hours.
Yeah.
Brisket. We've had brisket in up to like 20.
But if you're a meal planner, this is a good way to eat really nice all week. You like right there, you throw a chicken, you throw a brisket, you throw some ribs. Bam, you're living large.
Yeah, I mean, we put chicken in there and then you're going to eat the chicken for the week. So we put that in there for a couple hours and then cut it up for salads. And yeah, it's awesome.
And it's not that expensive. This one's $219 shipped. Like, okay. It lasts for a few years. You enjoy it. You can decide if this is for you. If it is, you can upgrade.
And yeah, God, their Facebook groups, their Reddit threads, their websites where everyone shares. This is smoking community is outside of automotive racing is probably one of the most supportive. Like, oh no, dude, try this. Like they love people who love what they love, and they will. No one plays I Have a Secret. Everyone is all about sharing on this. And
great way to get together with a bunch of dudes and talk about rub.
Pretty much.
Before we committed to this one, we did watch a good handful of enthusiast YouTube videos of gas versus electric versus chips versus
pellets and wood.
Wood and all of the things. So listen to us because we have one and we watched all the videos. So you don't have to.
Well, this is just a great way to start. And see if this is for you, if you're going to use it. And the last thing I've got for the non-car related people is if you've got someone that's cold, maybe they're old, maybe they're female, maybe they're just always cold.
Maybe they're a small little Mexican dog.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't expect that.
Is a heated throw blanket. This one, Berkshire Life heated throw. This one's on Costco. It's on sale. It's $28, but it is just a nice soft,
just a throw
fuzzy blanket, just to throw, but it's heated.
Is it USB or is it battery powered?
I believe it's plug-in. Yes, extra long cord. It says on it. Machine washable, auto shut off, 4 heat settings.
Do you want to broil on the couch?
Right, like you broil with your electric.
Well, say you're married to a Mexican woman who always has blankets always around on the thing. She will absolutely love this.
I didn't know this. I never considered
yeah.
Yeah.
this.
So if you're just
No,
sitting
Vicky
around,
is so
you
cold.
want to keep your house a little cooler. You don't want to use as much
and she
heat.
hates using the heater. I don't know what that's about. She has a
Yeah.
space heater and a blanket. She won't turn on the actual thermostat.
Well, here you go. A nice heated throw blanket.
Like it.
Boom. Yep, that's
Talk
happening.
about cozy.
Can you pull mine up? So,
I sure can.
talking about tools, we have found a tool that Chris needed to buy for our fireplace project, I believe.
Is that why I bought it the first time?
I think that's what we bought it for.
I don't
Pretty
remember.
sure. But anyway, we bought it, and then now my father borrows it just as much as Chris uses it, and then Chris needs to borrow it back. So just get everybody one, because you never know what you're going to need to use this buzzy tool. The buzzy saw, it just vibrates and cuts
It's
things very
oscillating multi-tool is what it's called.
Sure, buzzy tool. Oh, I need the buzzy saw. Does your dad still have it? Oh, I think so. Yes. So that's the game we play. So yeah, get one of those.
This is the most phenomenal for plunge cuts. Like if you're cutting a new outlet into something, great. If you're cutting up precision cuts on the dash of a 93 Honda Civic to do a roll cage, great. Things like that. Installing some different moldings, great.
Just one of those
really
tools that it's like not the cutoff wheel like all of our go-to, but it's kind of a interesting one that worked pretty well for a lot of things.
It won't fly off and lodge in your neck.
True. In theory, as long as you put it on correctly. It does have a cutting.
I want to live in a world where Chrissy just names everything, because there will be no confusion. The buzzy saw. You say that, no idea what you're talking about, instantly know what you're talking about, because it makes so much sense.
You have no idea. I have names for everything. So we're not even going to start that. It could be its own show. Okay, let's move on.
All right. So we talked about me with the six tool thing. We've brought this up. It's been a few years since we've talked about this. They actually used to sponsor us back in the day. But if you're looking to give someone an experience, a really cool experience, we're going to bring you all the way back. We're going to talk about Extreme Experience. Now, they travel all across the country. We've raced against most of their instructors. These are all really enthusiastic car people. One of my good friends still works for them. We just had JK up with us in New Hampshire. So you're actually going to get into these cars and go on a racetrack, a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Porsche GT3, and they get like the RS, the limited editions. They get the McLarens. They've got a Corvette. They've got a GT500. They've got the Hellcats for the lead cars. And you can go down and have just absolutely one of those experiences that reprograms someone's brain on what a modern car can do. And if they're not down with being on a racetrack, they've introduced what they call the Extreme Experience Open Roads. And they do those in Arizona and Georgia. And you'll get into a Lamborghini or ragtop 911 or something just really, really fun. And it is a semi-guided tour through some lovely back roads. And you can opt for a half day, full day, 3 days. So wherever your price point is, there's something for you to give someone, and they don't even have to have a driver's license. You can get them a lead car ride along for as little as $99. And right now, because it is Christmas time, they are pushing their 30% off sale. So you can go there, Extreme Experience, and there's an 80% chance that whoever is going to be your instructor on that one, you'd be like, oh man, I heard about this on Everyone Races. Be like, oh yeah, Chris, oh, racing against them, did this, did that. Yeah, it's a really good time. And I would, if I could stand to be in a right seat without barfing my guts up anymore, I would absolutely still be doing this job. It's a lot of fun. And for your maybe fringe car person, they will really enjoy that.
Good. All right. So we're on the last topic, over the top for someone special.
This is simple. A Honda Moto Compacto. They're so cool. And I saw someone
Buddha
recently did the test.
It
will fit in the trunk of an NSX.
Okay, so Buddha,
fantastic.
If you're listening to this, because he was holding off on ordering one because he wanted to see if it will fit in the trunk of his GR86, and if it'll fit in an NSX, it'll absolutely fit and a Toyota
yeah.
Baru. GR86, and he actually went ahead and ordered one, and he ordered it after listening to our episode where I talked about mine. The order was canceled, so he went to another Honda dealership here in Las Vegas. Hopefully he'll actually get one, and I can talk him into let me do a road test on it. We'll put that in our on our YouTube. Boot is a great guy. He'll absolutely let me do it, so that's on there. Oh, look at
Wow.
that. Boom.
It has to be at an angle. It has to be at a certain spot in the trunk.
And you literally can't bring anything else. But if you need to bring it somewhere, you can.
Put your scooter in your NSX, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. You are now like the coolest person ever. You two went to your wedding in an NSX. You had all kinds.
I didn't have them on a compacto.
Or you've got the door compartments. You fit everything you needed. You could totally do this. It's fine. It's fine. Probably
sure. All right, my suggestion is take somebody to an F1 race. Well, first off,
solid suggestion.
Right, so first off, if your loved one or someone special is not super into F1 and you are, start them with the show, Drive to Survive. Watch that for a while, then they'll be into it, and then go to a race. And what my suggestion was to Montreal, East Coasters. It's pretty easy to get. I know. It's easy to get there for many East Coasters. And so that's why I suggested it. Also, it was easy to get around. And that's where I think that the ideas of what everybody had for the reality of how their experiences were when they went to an F1 race is that it was easy to get around because you couldn't take a car. You have to walk and you have to take the metro. If you do it right, we did it well because Chris planned it well. I think that's why I'm suggesting that this is a good idea, because you don't have the traffic. Like when Matt and Lish went to Spa, they said it took them 4 or 5 hours to just leave the parking lot. And that was after they just wanted to go. And then after that, the roads aren't made for it. So places you could go somewhere amazing, right? And you've been to a couple of them in amazing places, but that's why I'm suggesting that if you have not been, that I think Montreal was a great gateway to have a great experience without the memories of, I would imagine they don't remember how great the race was because they just sat in traffic to get out of there. So that's what my suggestion would be.
And that is a valid, if you're looking at an F1 race near a major area, the other two that I've been to, there was other transportation options available. And I will add on to there, if they're on the fence, fork out a little extra for like maybe, a beer and food service, because that'll make it a lot, if they're kind of into the race. But then you can, put a bunch of free Heinekens in them. They're going to be a lot more into the race. There's usually some interesting food, that sort of thing. Now, jokingly here in the show notes, I put, what? Montreal. It's stupid. Go to Vegas. Vegas is probably really only for the hardcore people because there's only one race. It's only F1. Montreal, Austin. I'm told the Spanish Grand Prix is fantastic. That's on our list after we've seen some other people. Germany, the French Grand Prix, of course, the UK, any of those races, you get Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, and a support series. And they will all have practice, 2 rounds of practice, 2 rounds of qualifying, and then they'll have the actual race. So there is entertainment the entire weekend. And you're talking about over the top for someone very, very special, but that is a great way if they're just kind of into it, or if you've got a young person that's really into that sort of thing. They're a fantastic time to do that, to go to an F1 race. Barring that, you can't fork out that kind of money. You can't travel that far. The Rolex 24. Now they sell out within 30 minutes, but if you watch Grassroots Motorsports, they sell their packages, and their packages are cheaper than actual tickets to the Rolex 24. And it's an amazing experience conducted by amazing people. Also Sebring, any of these big races that take place more than just the standard race length, where there's a festival surrounding it. That is a fantastic way to bond with someone, or if you've got a young person in your life and you really want to be the super cool aunt or uncle, take them to one of those events.
Okay. Hopefully you found something on this list that you liked. I'm sure you did, because some of these things are pretty great, and can't wait to hear what other suggestions you have. But we have just a tip from one of our listeners. That is a gift.
Yes. Al gave us just the tip. I wanted to be disappointed, but
We're pretty excited with Al giving us just a tip. So Al sent us this nice email. Said, I wanted to send along a suggestion for the annual shopping gift guide show. These are fiberglass fire safety blankets. I was turned on to these earlier this year and now have them hanging in my garages, kitchen, and in the race kit. You hang the red bag in your work area and you can quickly grab the black straps that hang below it and pull out a small fireproof blanket to snuff out any accidental or intentional fires. They're perfect for use on small fuel fires or those wayward welding sparks that land in the oil drain pan. They don't create a huge mess like a fire extinguisher. So far, I haven't had to wrap myself into one and do the stop, drop, and roll, but the option now exists. Safety first. These can be found cheap all over Amazon. I think I paid $25 for a 4-pack. Well worth it. Buy one now for the person in your life who is most likely to catch something on fire. Happy holidays, Al Jones. Guess what's in my Amazon cart right now?
Guess what I'm getting for Christmas? Yay!
Guess what? Yeah, guess what's going to be hanging in my garage in just a few weeks as well. This is brilliant. These are just fantastic. And it how many times have we ruined something trying to put out, what was a small fire, but then you have to throw something on it and that kind of stuff. But
we don't have many small fires except for ones that Chris has made with welding, and that hasn't been too bad of a fire. So let's not
because we care a little bit, but just in case anything ever did happen. I mean, these are also cheap enough. You don't have to think twice about I don't know if I should use this. Right?
Big enough, not sure if it's big enough.
It's under $10 for each of these. And so if something's on fire, it's all right, let's just put this fire
out. And I feel like they're not infinitely reusable, but you probably use it a couple times, put out that. Yeah. Or once you pull it out of the package, now you throw that under your project or you're welding on.
Yeah, you're never getting that back in the package.
No.
It's
also
like
for $10, just get another one. Yeah, it's
or the poncho. It's never going back in the package.
Okay, this was a super long show. I'm very sorry about that. But we had a lot to talk about. So next week we're gonna take a week off. Sorry. But then we're going to talk about some cars or car mods that make you a stereotype. We'll see how that goes. So,
and while you're tell us what you see, like me, if I see an angry Jeep, I immediately go, your Jeep is angry because you never take it off road because you're a poser. So, what stereotypes out there? We get the don't be digging up the 80s joke about the porcupine and the BMW, all that other kind of stuff. We're looking for modern things. Nothing about Altimas. We have beat that horse to death, but dig up something obscure,
There we go. Obscure.
We'll watch for it as we're driving around the next couple of weeks. Oh, well. So thanks for downloading us. Hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. Also, hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's free. Go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Even if you didn't like any of Mental's gift ideas, give us 5 stars and tell us why and what you think you should get instead. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on Facebook, Everyone Racers, or email us, everyone.racers@gmail.com. Text Mental, show him pictures of what you want for Christmas at 484-243-0455. We're on all of the various internet things at Everyone Racers or Everyone.Racers or E1R. So anyway, thanks again. Next week, keep the shiny side up, unless it's a big box with luggage in it. Then just be disappointed.